Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective. In this video I'll be doing my predictions for WWE Money in the Bank. So first up we have the 6-man tag team match between the members of the Bloodline, which I assume will be Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, taking on the team of Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. For me, I'm going to go with the Bloodline to get the win here. It makes the most sense overall to have the Bloodline kind of come out on top. They're arguably the biggest storyline coming out of SmackDown once again at the minute, and this new revitalized version of the Bloodline needs that momentum going into the bigger shows of the year, you know, being SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and then into the start of next year, the Rumble and WrestleMania, of course. So for me, I feel like this starts here at Money in the Bank. Maybe, and I think this may happen, with Solo Sikoa pinning Cody Rhodes to set up a match for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and we then may see the return of one Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I feel like Jimmy Uso may return at this pay-per-view, and it might turn into an 8-man match instead. It wouldn't shock me if that happened, but also I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Bloodline kind of not enter a match later on, but kind of get involved in a match later on in the night, which I'll talk about in a bit. But for me, I don't think there's any doubts the fact that the Bloodline beat Team Babyface. After that, we have Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental Championship against Bron Breakker. And for me, I was for sure thinking we were going to get a fatal 4-way match between Zayn, Breakker, Kaiser and Sheamus. Obviously, I think due to Kaiser's injury and I think it's literally just due to the Kaiser injury that we're getting one-on-one instead. Obviously, Sheamus tried to get into Money in the Bank and failed. But for me, I think this is one of the harder matches of the night to predict. I'm going to go with Sami Zayn to get the win, just because it's in Canada, and when they're in Canada, Sami enters this super Canada Sami version of himself, where he'll probably take like 3 devastating spears from Bron Breakker and still kick out at 2, and then go on to retain the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think this will necessarily be bad. I feel like Zayn's going to make Breakker look good in defeat, and it certainly isn't going to be the last time Breakker goes for the Intercontinental Championship, as he's such a young superstar at the minute that he'll have plenty more chances to go for that championship right at the minute. But Sami Zayn has so much momentum going for him as a babyface on Raw. I feel like it makes the most sense to have him carry the belt out of Canada, just retaining it, and Bron Breakker can kind of not reform, but kind of he can just kind of come back from this loss very well, and I don't think it's going to affect him massively if he does lose. Therefore, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn to retain the Intercontinental Championship. After that, we have the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and kind of I'm not going to go through everyone, but the people I think are going to win, it will be either Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton. It's just a matter of going head over heart, really. For me, my heart wants Chelsea Green to get the win here. I feel like she will make a great Money in the Bank winner, but my head from even before the qualifying matches was for Tiffany Stratton to become Miss Money in the Bank, and that's what I'm going to go with for my prediction, with Tiffany Stratton winning the ladder match. Though there are people in this match that I don't think are going to get this at all. I don't think Naomi is going to get it, I don't think Lyra Valkyria is going to get it, and I don't think Io is going to get it. Zoe Stark will be a nice surprise. I wouldn't be against her winning it, but then she doesn't really have much momentum going into this. But then, you know, we've had people before who have had no momentum going into it and then have won it. So I don't really feel like that's a thing to go off. But yeah, for me, Chelsea Green I think will be a fantastic Miss Money in the Bank. But undoubtedly, and as I said since the beginning, I even did a video on people who I think should win Money in the Bank before the qualifying matches, and my favourite then was Tiffany Stratton. So I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton to get the win here as well, though you know my heart says Chelsea Green to get the win. Following that, we have the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, where, to be fair, if you think about this from a point of like anything can happen and anyone can get involved, there's only really 2 winners here, and that's Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, just due to the fact that we could see a kind of wish version of the main event of WrestleMania 40, where we could see an absolute ton of interference. You know, on LA Knight, you could have Logan Paul get involved and cost him the match. Drew McIntyre could lose the match via CM Punk or maybe even AJ Lee getting involved. Jey Uso could lose the match by the Bloodline getting involved and costing him. And of course, Chad Gable could have the White Six come in and cost him the match. And if all that were to go down, that would literally only leave Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. So I think in my head, I'm going to go with Carmelo Hayes to get the win. But I think the person who I really think is going to win is either Drew McIntyre or Jey Uso, and I can't seem to make a decision on who it's going to be. Jey Uso makes the most sense. He's on the cover of the pay-per-view, and we can't really call him main event Jey Uso, as he's not really done much successfully in a main event. But I don't know. But then it also helps Drew to get the Money in the Bank win as far as his story with CM Punk and the World Heavyweight Championship goes. I think I'm going to go with the safer option. I'm going to go with Jey Uso to get the Money in the Bank win here. So that's my confirmed thing. I'm going with Jey Uso to get the win, but it wouldn't shock me if it was anybody else apart from maybe Andrade or Chad Gable. But I think if everyone were to get involved, with Carmelo Hayes walks out, LA Knight should be, but I feel like they're going to concentrate more on him being US champion. So Jey Uso is my choice, though this is going to be a very good match and very hard to predict who's actually going to get the win. And finally, in what I assume will be the main event, we have Damian Priest defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins. And for me, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to get the win here, more or less, because for the storyline of the Judgment Day, it makes sense that Priest would leave the Judgment Day, and not thanks to himself, pretty much. For me, I feel like Finn Balor's going to get involved and cost Priest the match, cost Priest the championship, and the plan all along between Finn and Liv was to get Priest out of the Judgment Day, because he has probably been the biggest boundary as far as Liv taking over the Judgment Day. Liv getting to Dominic Priest has been there every time to kind of stop that in its tracks. So if you get rid of Priest, then Liv has full play of part of the Judgment Day. She helped like Donna and Finn win the titles. She's taken Rhea's spot, or claims, well, she wants to take Rhea's spot, and there's only a certain amount of time until Dominic gives in to Liv's advances. So yeah, for me, it makes the most sense to have Priest lose here. And also, Seth Rollins being back as world champion means that we get Rollins versus Gunther at SummerSlam, which I am fully for, and could be a match of the year candidate in my opinion. A match that I definitely want to see. So even from a personal preference, even though I love the Judgment Day and I really like Priest being in the Judgment Day, Rollins seems like the better way to go storyline wise and SummerSlam match wise. So those are my predictions for WWE Money in the Bank 2024. Do put down in the comments what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to win. Are we going to see any surprises come up? Will McIntyre win and cash in on the same night successfully? But also, anything you think might get set up for SummerSlam? Is the White Six going to get involved? Like, there's a lot of possibilities, especially in the men's Money in the Bank, for a lot of shenanigans and storyline stuff for SummerSlam to go down. But for now, I will ask you guys to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you